Hey guys, so today I'm going to be filming a bit of a different video, as you saw by the title. This is 5 reptiles that I would like to keep, but I probably will never keep. And I got this idea from the channel Leopard Gecko. She does a lot of videos about leopard geckos and also crested geckos, and she also has a Chihuahua. Very knowledgeable person, and it's where I've gotten pretty much all of my leopard gecko research is just through her channel. And yeah, so I'm going to get started with these 5. So I have done a lot of research on a lot of different reptiles. So through this research I've found a lot of reptiles that are really cool, but I will probably never be able to keep them. Now, to start off, I'm showing you my green iguana, which I'm obviously keeping. But the first one I'm going to go with is a rock iguana. So I'm pretty sure this would be like a rhino iguana or a Cuban iguana. Basically, shorter lengthwise and more terrestrial species of iguanas I will probably never keep. I would not be surprised if Charlie here, my green iguana, is the only iguana that I ever keep, because iguanas are big, and unless I am breeding iguanas, then there really isn't any reason for me to have one, considering I plan on keeping small animals and plants for the rest of my life, small exotic animals like geckos, and turtles as well. I don't think I'll ever have the space and the proper stuff to keep a rock iguana. After Charlie, I don't know what I'll do. He's gonna live for a really long time, so I don't really have any plans for when his time comes. So on that note, I'm going to be moving on to the next one. By the way, the reason that a rock iguana would interest me is that they're cool looking, just basically for the same reasons a green iguana would interest me. They have the possibility of being tamed down and being really cool pets. Also, it would be they go well with tortoises as well, and you can make cool terrestrial enclosures rather than more arboreal enclosures like a green iguana. So next is a fly river turtle. Now, this would be an absolutely amazing pet, and I would love to have a fly river turtle. But the problem is you can't keep them outside in Ohio, and you would need a huge enclosure for one. And it's one thing to have a huge enclosure for a lizard, but for a turtle you're going to need a huge fish tank or pond that's inside as well, because these turtles get really big, and also they're kind of hard to come by. They're expensive to buy, and I really would rather rescue, like I've rescued pretty much all of my animals at this. I mean, like, most of the animals that I have are rescues. I can't exactly do that with a fly river turtle. I'd more likely have to buy one. So that is the second thing on my list. So to keep right along with the turtles, another turtle is a Matamata turtle. Now this is just like the fly river, would be a dream animal of mine. So both of them, if I had the opportunity to keep them, I would probably go for it, but I doubt that I will. A Matamata turtle is, if you don't know, by the way, a fly river turtle is a fully aquatic freshwater turtle. It has flippers and it has a pig nose. Just look it up, pig nose fly river turtle. Just Google it and you'll see that. So Matamata turtle is, again, just Google it. That's like M-A-T-A turtle. It is a really, kind of ugly turtle, not very active, but it's just really cool. They get pretty big, but they actually kind of don't need as big enclosures because they aren't very active, like I said. And this would just be a really cool animal. You could probably make it like a really cool polydorarium for this type of thing, or just keep it in a pond or something. But again, same reasons for the fly river. I would need a pretty big system to keep it, and I wouldn't be able to keep it outside like I can with the turtles that I have. And again, I would probably have to buy one. Also, I don't think that either one of these things are readily bred in captivity. I'm not sure with fly rivers, but I'm pretty positive with Matamata turtles that if you're going to get one, then it was most likely wild caught. And I don't really want to support that by buying one, and I doubt that I would be able to find one to rescue from somebody. But like I said, if I had the opportunity to, I probably would, because it's just another, just a really, really cool animal to keep, I think. So for the fourth animal, I'm going to go with a Jackson's chameleon. Now, I have done research on these, and I would know how to keep one if I got one, but just like the other ones, though they are cool, I don't think I'd ever get one of these. Jackson's chameleon, the appeal to me is just the look of them. They have, the males have like the horns on the head, which are just really cool. But other than that, like, they're kind of more difficult to keep, and also there's no way, like, you're not really supposed to handle chameleons as much. So though I can make a really cool terrarium for one, it would be kind of hard because I'm not really used to making terrariums with really good airflow and really high humidity like they need. Like, I'm used to having high humidity tropical enclosures, but not like the same airflow type of thing. Just kind of something difficult that I just don't think it would be worth keeping. Also, the insects, which is kind of like a put off for me with most reptiles. Obviously, I have a leopard gecko now, but my colony can sustain it, and that's my colony of dubia roaches can be sustained with still feeding my leopard gecko, so that's pretty cool. And then finally, I'm going to go with the tokay gecko. So again, I have done a lot of research on this, just like the Jackson's chameleon, and they look really cool. They get really big, which is another, those two things are pretty cool, but they're hard to hold, and you can tame them down, but I think you'd have to be more experienced than me to do that, or probably not that, just put in more effort than I would to do that, tame them down properly, and I would just be afraid that it would be like really mean and I wouldn't know what to do. And also, it wouldn't be as an easy display animal as, say, a iguana or a chameleon, like similar to how crested geckos normally are. I don't know what's wrong with my crested geckos, but generally crested geckos hide, and same with tokay geckos, so you wouldn't really see it if you just had it as a display animal anyway. Plus, the advantage of having something like a Jackson's chameleon, or say a Chinese water dragon, or a knoll or frog, as a display animals, you can have cool water features. But generally, you can't really have cool water features like that with geckos, because they just can't swim as well as other things. Not saying chameleons can swim, but they more benefit from like a water bowl than you wouldn't really have a water bowl with tropical geckos generally. You more just spray them down. So those are the 5 animals. If I had to add a 6th, then I would probably do an African fat-tailed gecko, but honestly, I really hope that I can keep one of those at some point, because that just sounds really cool to me. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just because it's a little bit more a little bit less kept than leopard geckos are. I think African fat-tailed geckos would be pretty cool. But if I do end up doing some type of full-on reptile rescue in the future at some point, then I'll probably get a lot of the common species that I really don't like. Right now, I would say that I probably wouldn't keep, but because I kind of plan on doing that, that's why I didn't list things like a bearded dragon or a garter snake or a ball python or a corn snake or Chinese water dragon, things like that I don't plan on getting, but I might in the future. So those are the 5: a rock iguana, fly river turtle, Matamata turtle, Jackson's chameleon, tokay gecko, that I will more than likely never own, but I still find very cool. And this is important when you are looking for reptiles. I did a lot of research on a lot of different reptiles before. I didn't do enough, but I did a lot before I ended up getting Charlie. You really want to make sure that you're going to get what you want. It's very important, and it's kind of hard to kind of understand. So when you don't have an animal yet, so like what I'd recommend is going to a pet store, say holding an iguana, holding a bearded dragon, going through not only pet store but talk to people who own these things and try to talk to knowledgeable people. It's kind of hard unless you do research yourself to really know if you're being told the proper thing. So that's kind of a difficult thing, but just try to do as much research as you can. YouTube is a really good way to do that. If you're looking into iguanas or tortoises, you can visit Camp Kennan. He talks about iguanas and tortoises mainly. If you're looking into leopard geckos or crested geckos, I'd recommend looking up the channel Leopard Gecko. Go Herping also does a lot on a bunch of different types of reptiles, and yeah, just go through. If you are, again, looking for a reptile and you want to know more about it, you can go through the channels that I watch, and those would all be ones that I would recommend, and they would know how to take care of different animals. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like it down below. If you have any comments or concerns, put in the comments below, and if you want content, then subscribe. Have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you in that next video. Peace.